Greetings and salutation, Driver's Rider here. Let's talk Volkswagen GLI. So yeah, as you can see, this is not another motorcycle video. I purchased my new car a few months ago and I just wanted to share my experience of the car with you guys. And I can start by saying I am completely thrilled with the Volkswagen GLI. What I wasn't thrilled with was my sales experience with the dealership. Now that's another story altogether, but I can say that my car spent 2 weeks at the dealership getting some body work done. During that 2-week time frame, the dealership gave me a loaner Volkswagen Jetta, the base model with the 1.4 liter turbo, and I figured I would do a direct comparison between the base model Mk7 Jetta with the highest end GLI Autobahn. Let's get into it. Let's start with the engine. The base car has a 1.4 liter turbocharged inline 4 with 147 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque. But don't let the horsepower figures fool you. Before the GLI, I owned a 2013 Mitsubishi Lancer GT with a naturally aspirated 2 liter, putting out 168 horsepower and 167 torque. So driving this 1.4 liter turbo, I was actually impressed with how much get up and go it has. I think most people would be happy with this engine, but I just couldn't pass up the fact that the GLI has a 2 liter turbo putting out 228 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. According to my friend Google, the GLI 0 to 60 time is 5.8 seconds. The standard Jetta is 7.6 seconds, and my 2013 Lancer was 8.2 seconds. Enough said. Next, I'd like to talk about drive modes and suspension. The base Jetta has normal and eco modes. That's it, and I believe every Mk7 Jetta, except the GLI, has a torsion beam rear suspension. This plus the vanilla suspension in the Jetta doesn't do well when pushed hard. I found lots of body roll, especially with quick transitions. In comparison, the GLI has independent rear suspension as well as the same adaptive suspension as the GTI. Therefore, when in sport mode, the car stiffens and corners really well for a front drive. That also has to do with the GLI having the same limited slip differential as the GTI, and it sits 0.6 inches lower than the other Jettas. Along with sport mode, the GLI also has eco mode, comfort mode, normal mode, and custom mode, which lets you tailor every option to your liking. Getting into the interior of each car, my loaner Jetta has the basic cloth seats, the smaller 6.5-inch infotainment screen, and the regular dash with the analog tach and speedometer. And it's all perfectly fine. Yes, there's lots of hard plastics inside, but for the asking price of the car, I find it reasonable. I also think that the 6.5-inch infotainment system is excellent. My only complaint with it is that its backup camera is very low resolution. The rest of the info on the screen is quite sharp. I'm not sure if VW found some surplus VGA cameras from 1995 here, but yeah, I expect more in 2020, as should you. The GLI, on the other hand, definitely feels like a 2020 car, especially with all the digital content. I love it. I'm sure I still haven't gone through all the settings and options. It's very customizable. The GLI also has an 8-inch infotainment system, and the backup camera is sharp. My GLI also comes with leather interior. Black is the only color, but the red stitching is a nice touch. I'm also loving the steering wheel. There's also ambient lighting in the door and the dash. You can choose between 10 colors and it changes the accent on the infotainment and digital cockpit. I don't want this to sound like a cop-out, but I can easily recommend either car. If your budget only allows for the base model Jetta, then I think it's a great purchase. But I cannot recommend adding options on to the base Jetta, as the moment you start doing that, you start creeping up to the price of the GLI. And the GLI just comes with a lot of extras for that difference in price. Now, I do plan on doing a long-term review of the car. Stay tuned for that. In the meantime, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.